Eric Sims, I was forced to hear from once again.
Oh, yeah, because I had my timeline wrong.
Yeah, he was happy to mention. So I get the text, quote, here's the text that pops up from me. Just heard the podcast where I was mentioned. Good stuff, but Kev was off with the timeline. The NWO loop was 2016, and my Bell's palsy thing was 2011. So I wrote to him. I said, thank you. I forgot to tell you that we actually mentioned you. He writes back, always love hearing stories about me.
But did he at any time did he say, and I never said that Nash gave me Bell's palsy? He's just saying, no, the fucker gave it to me in 11, not 16.
Not 16.
That's all it is.
That's right. You weren't exonerated anywhere.
No. I'm still fucking, I still get fucking Prick of the Year award.
For anyone that missed it, Eric was attributing his Bell's palsy bout to dealing with Kevin for a weekend of signings.
It was like 4 days, maybe 3 days. But he's one of those guys, man. Like I said it last week. You know, it's just you look on, you get on your phone and you pull it up, and it says estimated arrival time 7 minutes from your hotel, and he wants to leave an hour and 40 minutes earlier. And he's another one of them cats who doesn't fucking eat. You know, it's just like, dude, I got to eat. I got to, like, if you
He's eating something. Did you see the size of him? Oh, my God.
Nice. What's his little, he's got a beautiful little, I don't know if he has any, I really haven't talked to him, but he had a beautiful little daughter that really kind of.
She's good. I ran into Eric in Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago.
That really chilled him out. I always liked him. It's just that, but sometimes, man, when he would go into that, the gimmick table, when he'd be selling he'd have some noise making shit, and I mean, it was just like, fuck, dude. There he is.
Which one is he?
Eric's in the middle. Eric's in the middle.
Oh, okay.
This is right after he fucking stomped fucking Atlas with his Vans.
Stood on his face a little bit, yeah.
And then wouldn't do the job for Tatanka because he was in the Kliq.
Because you had Kliq buried.
Fuck.
Eric Sims, great source of material always. Timothy says, this is the only adult wrestling podcast that is up to date and not living in the territory days and the attitude era when ratings were through the roof and the wrestlers were on the road 300 days a year. Kliq. This is a breath of fresh air. The only adult wrestling podcast. Are there many children ones that I need to know about?
Well, I'd want to talk about something before we go any further. There was this one time we're in Tupelo, Mississippi. This, of course, Mid-South.
Whose face should I put up for you here? Who would you like to?
Ah, fuck.
You got a handful you could choose from. Baggett Building Company. Kevin will probably never read this. But I'm sorry.
I'll have it read to me.
Yes, you will. But I'm so sorry about all the loss you suffered last year. It may not matter to you, but the strength you show in such difficult times is so inspirational and motivating to people who have lost someone or thinking of suicide. Suicide or giving up on life may be constantly going through your mind, but you continuing to do a podcast and interacting with fans through such turmoil is saving people's lives through example. You may not believe it, but it's like you are here to save lives just by living. Thank you, Baggett.
Thank you.
Official.
You know what? So in essence, so like last week, by saying that, some people like point out, saying like, there's a lot of people out there that are thinking about doing that, and you saying that is almost encouraging. Like, well, fucking if Nash is going to fucking pull it, and I never and I'm not saying that there wasn't a period in the first 4 or 5 days where it's like I took my fucking handguns, put them in the safe, locked them, took the clips out. I mean, took the fucking bullets out of the clips. Like there was a time that where it was like, what the fuck? But I used to always do this thing throughout my life, because I've always had handguns, where you stick a gun in your mouth. Just occasionally, like maybe once a year, you stick a gun in your mouth. And
For what purpose is this?
fucking check. You know, just check. I remember one time I was fucking on guard duty. It was Christmas. I was out in the fucking one of the towers. It's my first Christmas, you know, at a nuclear missile site, and I'm sitting out there for 4 hours, and I fucking just locked and loaded a round in my fucking M16. I stuck it in my mouth, and then I fucking you get real scared. You know, you're like, oh, and you take it out and you unload it and everything else. And it's, I don't know, man.
Is it like that thing? There is a thing. I don't know what you call it. It's a temptation. It's going to the edge of the cliff. It's like when you're walking over a grate, like a sewer grate, and you have your keys in your hand, and you start twirling them. You know, it's that. It's just standing at the edge to see what the fear does to you.
But you don't put. It's like I never put my finger on the trigger. You know, it's like you know, like you hold, like you don't put your hand on the trigger.
You handed me a fucking handgun one time. The thing was like a cinder block. It weighed like a cinder block.
That's a Israeli. An actual, it's a Desert Eagle 50 caliber, but that's the tactical model. That's not the. I've shot that before one-handed. It's a bear, man.
Were you numb for a week?